You're locked in with the Innovators. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. What's going on? We're back for another amazing episode of the Innovator Hour. You already know I got the best interviews right here. Look who I got here today, man. I got DTB. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Baby? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, bro?
Shit, chilling, just, moving and grooving, trying to make it happen.
Hell yeah. First, I want to say it's a pleasure and blessing to have you here. I appreciate you coming through today.
Thank you, man. It's nice to be here.
No, tops. Can you tell me how has the coronavirus been affecting your grind so far?
Man, it ain't really done anything for my schedule. I don't really see as many artists every day, but I'm still in the lab every day working, mixing, working on beats. The nature of our work is we're usually inside most of the time anyways. Yeah. So when they said everybody needs to stay at home, I went straight to the studio. Yeah.
Do you feel like the coronavirus is a real thing? Like with the protest stuff we've been kind of seeing, it hasn't been talked about a lot, or people aren't really mentioning it at all?
I don't know exactly. Like, I know it exists for sure because I know a couple people that definitely got it and some family members that had it, and I know a couple people whose family members died from it. Yeah. But ultimately, I'm not sure. Like, there's all kinds of theories as where it came from, what it's for, all that. I try not to dig my nose too deep into that stuff. Yeah. Like, I'm aware of it, but I don't know. Yeah. So I can't speak on it. You know what I mean? I just hear what I hear, and I just know, like, I think the coolest thing about it, I'm not gonna say cool, but like, now that I think about it, most of us weren't really too conscious about our hygiene and about staying clean and doing all that. Now, whenever I go anywhere, it's like, it actually goes to my head how many people might have touched a door handle or how many people might have done some foul shit before they went into, into certain places. So that's one thing that I think was cool from it. But yeah, man, I think it's real. I just,
How do you think it will affect the music industry moving forward?
Man, a lot of artists, a huge part of artists' income and connecting with their fans is touring and performing live. And until we can do that again, I feel like it's kind of, on that level, it's hurt the music industry. But on another level, what I've talking with a bunch of my friends who are musicians is that they've almost, now that everybody is inside, they're more focused on their music because they're not out doing as much. And I've been hearing all kinds of things from people talking about they're improving on their music, they're getting better because they're actually being able to spend time, like days at a time in the studio. Most of the time, some of these artists, it's like they get in once every so often when they're off the road. Or maybe they get in the tour bus. But
I think that's something that what you said is key, because during this time, I've like turned my room into like a film space, and I've like learned how to do every part of like the operations of putting my interviews together. I know how to do everything on my own now. Yeah. But it's something I didn't really know how to do at first. Like, and I think.
But you had to do it because of everything going on.
Exactly.
You didn't have a team to be.
Exactly. So I feel like I've become more self-sufficient in like things that I didn't know how to do. Like, I've been cooking different new things. I've been trying a lot of different shit out because I'm just at the house all day.
No, I feel it. I've been cooking a bunch too. I haven't even. Normally I just get food whenever I get it, but with the studio, I've been coming home cooking all kind of shit.
Can you tell me about what was your childhood like in the Bay Area?
Man, my childhood was way different from what I'm in now. It's like I was really involved in sports in school. Both my parents were teachers. Yeah. My mom taught at Albany Middle School. My dad taught at Berkeley High. Yeah. And I grew up playing baseball, basketball. I was a swimmer. I played soccer. And I was a trumpet player. Yeah. So my whole life was very scheduled. Like, I would be up early in the morning, wouldn't get home till late, study until early in the morning, and then go to school. And I really just learned how to work. My parents were very hard workers. They didn't complain about anything. They just put their heads down and worked. So that's what I learned from them. Yeah. And, I'm not in the same career path as what I originally thought I was going to be, but that work ethic and that drive carried over into what I'm doing now. Yeah. And everything that I learned from them as far as the general morals of how to live my life and developing these good habits, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them.
Yeah. You said what was the original career path you thought that you would take on?
Well, when I was young, I really wanted to be an Olympic swimmer.
Really?
Yeah, I was a really fast swimmer when I was growing up.
Wow. I never knew that. That's dope.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but really, one of my biggest passions was swimming before I got into the music production scene. I was playing trumpet on the side, but it was more like a hobby. It wasn't something that I was fully focused on. But coming out of high school, well, actually, middle school and 8th grade, I broke my back playing baseball.
Broke your back? How?
So I was a center fielder. I dove for a ball in the gap, and when I landed, there was like a hole in the ground. It was like a drainage ditch that someone, like a divot or something, that someone had dug to like fix some drainage, and they didn't fill it back in. And my stomach landed in the hole, and my whole shit went like that. So I was in a back brace.
Down my body right now.
You know, that shit was hella weak. But yeah, it put me in a back brace for like a year, and I missed out my whole 8th grade year on sports, on everything, and I wasn't really walking. They told me I might not ever be able to play sports again.
Really?
But when I got out of physical therapy at Children's Hospital, after like a year, they had me grabbing the rim by my sophomore year.
Really?
So that's what made me be like, oh, I want to be a kinesiologist. I want to be a physical therapist.
Yeah.
So then I went to Sonoma State, and I was playing music and studying to be a physical therapist. But my junior year, they're telling us to start looking at graduate schools and PT programs, physical therapy programs. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, I'm only 1 year away from graduating. What do you mean? They're like, well, and if you want to get a profession, to become a professional therapist, you have to get a doctorate.
Yeah. Wow. So that's more school.
Right. So I'm like, wait a minute. So what do you mean? They're like, well, you got to go for 4 more years. And I'm like, so I'm going to be 28 when I'm out of school? I turned 28 on the 2nd of July. That's like in a week.
Yeah.
Or a couple weeks or whatever. I'm like, damn, I would still be in school right now.
That's crazy.
No DTB, no perfect your craft. I'd be at like NYU physical therapy school or something like that.
That's crazy.
Studying, pulling my hairs out, trying to, you know what I mean? So that scared me.
Yeah.
It didn't scare me. So I'm like, shit. 4 more years of this, I'm not even going to be getting paid yet. I'm actually going to have to take a loan to go to school. I'm going to be in debt when I get out at 28. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I started my whole perspective changed. And at the same time, I was on scholarship for trumpet. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, I really like this music. And I've been making beats my whole life, but I had never really worked with anybody. The only person that ever gave me a look when I was younger were 2 artists. One was Chippas, and the other one was a dude named Lige, who now goes by Pedro Classic. Mm-hmm. And those are my dogs, but they really started getting on my beats when I was younger. And nothing really ever came out like that. But that was the only time I'd ever worked with artists.
Yeah.
And then all my time through college, I only worked with Lige just on the side, but I never released anything. And then my junior year, I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. And I told my parents, I was like, I want to go back and start a studio.
Yeah.
And like try to work in the music industry.
Yeah. And what is that reaction from them?
Well, my mom wasn't too thrilled at first. I'm not going to say she wasn't thrilled. She was more just like, you know, like my parents supported me whatever I wanted to do. So they had wholeheartedly put their all into me for going to school for that. But you know, it was a little tough. My mom wanted me to go back to school and finish because I was really close. But my dad was more like, you know, if you take your own path, it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you to get up in the morning. Nobody's going to tell you to go make money. Nobody's going to tell you have to do anything.
Yeah.
So if you fail, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And that really stuck hard with me.
That stuck with me too.
Because my mom is more on a different approach, like, oh no, you're no. And it's like, I'm like almost with her, it was like, I need to get free. I need to do what I want to do. With my dad, it was like the real sobering, like, this is what it is. Yeah. This is real life.
The truth,
when you get out there and you do choose to go on your own and you're not, then everything is on you.
Yeah.
All your success, all your failures is on you.
Yeah.
Because it's what you decide to do with your time.
Nah, definitely.
And that really was just the last little push though that I needed to be like, okay, I can do this. And then I started getting into a studio, and I think I talked about it a little bit in my last interview with you, but I had a friend at the time who went into that, investing into the studio with me, but we ended up disagreeing about a bunch of stuff, and then he ended up stealing all my shit.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And Benji is the one who came in and kind of like really was just like, not even like me and him were close in high school, but we weren't like close like that.
Yeah.
And he came to me and was just like, yo, I believe in you. I believe in what you're trying to do. I'm at Nordstrom's. I'm not really doing shit either. I'm trying to get to a bigger level.
Yeah.
Let's do this shit. And gave me the rent money that I was missing.
Yeah.
Like literally saved my ass.
Yeah.
And then we started working. And now we're here.
Yeah. What is it? Like when he took all your shit, what's going through your head at that moment? You're thinking, are you thinking, I don't know if I want to do this? You thinking
it wasn't even that. It was more like the guilt of being like, damn, I just convinced my mom that this was the right thing to do. And 6 months in, I got robbed for everything I have.
That's crazy.
Like, damn, like they had the faith in believing in me that, okay, like, you know, we're telling you this probably isn't the best idea right now, but all right, if you want to do that, go ahead. And then I do it, and yeah, I got hit for everything. And then I'm literally down to like my last. Ben throws me his money for the rent, and my mom gave us some money to like just eat and like get a couple pieces of studio equipment just to get started again.
Yeah.
And then from there, Ben turned it into a business, because before it was like, he was like, you know, you make beats, that's tight, but like, you engineer too, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, why don't we start a studio? And like, you could have clients every day. And like, he's like, even though it's not that much, you're going to be making money every day. It's, you know, you have a job to be able to do something with. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I hear you. And then we sat on it for a couple days, and then Ben came up with the name. He's like, what do you think about Perfect Your Craft?
That was the first name that y'all came. That's crazy.
It's not the first day. It was probably like a week.
No, I mean the first name.
Oh yeah, that was the only name that Ben ever threw out there. I swear to God. I was like, man, I don't even. He's like, what you want it to be? What would you call it? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't. I was like, but you know, I trust you. Like,
it's a great name.
That's the first thing he said. Perfect your craft. And I was like, why that? And he's like, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we're just trying to perfect the craft. Like, we work our hardest to get as good as we can at what we're doing. Yeah. So, feel like that fits us. And I said, me too. Yeah. So.
That's hard. I didn't know that. I think that's kind of dope for that to be the first name that Benji came with. I think that's
it's
dope.
The one and only name.
That's
right.
Tight.
I don't think there was another name. I can't even remember.
And it's stuck.
Yeah.
That's tight. So, what age did you start getting into producing, and what was it that kind of piqued your interest with it?
Oh, man. I got into making beats probably like 4th or 5th grade. I want to say like 8 or 9 years old. Wow. So when I was in band, I started playing trumpet in like 3rd grade. And all through elementary school, my dad listened to classical music, and my mom listened to funk. Really? So in the morning on the way to school, I'd hear like Beethoven, Bach, Vivaldi or whatever, and then my mom on the way home would be Earth, Wind & Fire, Tower of Power, the OJs, right? And I had this very, musical background, but no hip hop, really. And then my cousin showed me Andre Nicotino when I got to like 6th grade, and he showed me some Dr. Dre, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And I didn't go and buy the music or anything, but it was the first time I'd really heard a bounce like that. Yeah. And what really got me into the beat side of it was my neighbor across the street used to make beats. Right. And when I was in band, I was playing like classical music or whatever. It would be like a 10-minute long song. There'd be like certain parts of it that were hella tight. Yeah. It'd be like 10 seconds worth that I'd hella like. Yeah. And then it would go off into some other shit. But my neighbor at the time, before there was all these like beat making programs, was sampling. Yeah. And I'd hear classical music coming out of his garage, but him chopping up a sample. Yeah. Right? It could be like and then him chopping it up and then adding shit. And I'm hearing it like, because I told you I play sports. Yeah. I'd be in the front yard with my dad hitting off a tee into a net, and I would hear that. And then one day he made one that really was hella tight to me, and I was just like feeling like a real groove for the first time, like this. Like, Dad, can I go see what's going on over there? He's like, yeah, go ahead, because they were close with the neighbors. So I walk across the street, and I kind of knock on the thing, and my neighbor Dave comes out, and he goes, "Little Dave, what's going on, man?" He OG dude, had some dreads, and he had his partners in there. They was all smoking weed, making beats, had on nothing but Jabots and big Jordan jerseys. And I'm like, damn, this is different. Yeah. All right, this is this is a completely different environment than my house. My house is across the street. I got two teachers as parents.
Exactly.
And then right across the street, you know what I'm saying? There's the hood studio in the garage.
Yeah.
So I go over there, and I'm like, what y'all doing? And he's like, we making beats. I'm like, what is this? I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
And he walks me over to the Yamaha keyboard he had. It was a motif.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we saved our beats was on floppy disk.
Really?
Like old school.
That's dating it.
Yeah. So, and then he had a tape machine and like a basic DAW. And I started learning how to make beats in there. And then he had a studio in Vallejo that he would take me to eventually when I would learn how to track and, you know, patch things in and create an actual vocal chain and record someone. But really, I would just spend time with him, just learning how to make beats. And then by the time I got to like 7th grade, I got a laptop that had Logic, GarageBand, Pro Tools, all kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh, I'm fully in now. Yeah. So.
That's hard. What did you say you grew up listening to, you say you listened to no rap growing up at all?
Not really, not until like late middle school, like Get Rich or Die Trying.
Damn.
That was the first album I ever bought.
That shit is hard as
Actually,
hell.
no, Ludacris. My cousin gave me a Ludacris CD and Country Grammar by Nelly, and then I went and bought Get Rich or Die Trying.
It's funny because I was just telling somebody, like, I think it was the other night, how when my dad is Haitian, so he listened to like Caribbean music, and my mom listened to everything you could think of, but like for some reason they'll be tripping on me listening to rap. I don't know why. So I would literally steal these CDs and hide them around the house.
Listen,
like,
so there was a Ross right by our school. Right after 50 Cent came out and all this stuff with the Get Rich or Die Trying, I went to the Ross.
Yeah.
And I bought some G-Unit gear.
Yeah.
Like a hoodie and some other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And my mom goes and looks. She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's a rapper's clothing line."
Yeah.
And she goes and looks up who 50 Cent is.
Damn.
Right? And what she goes into, well, I didn't know she was doing this, but she's like, "David, do you know the artist that you listening to is, you know, he says all these things about women and about," I'm like, "What do you mean, Mom?" And she pulls up PIMP. She's like, this is what you're supporting. And I was like, I mean, I like it though. She's like, you don't even know what they're talking about. You're wearing their hoodies and you're wearing their clothing. You don't even know what it means. And I'm like, Mom, I love this shit though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm a motherfucking PIMP.
I
Like,
love it though. That's hella funny.
No, for real. So then at that point, my mom damn near took away my G-Unit hoodie.
Dang.
And I had to go back to my South Pole, so.
Hey, that's hella funny.
I thought I was clean for like 1 week.
Yeah.
And
she took it?
Yeah.
You never saw it again?
Nah, never.
That's crazy.
she damn near gave it away or something. I don't know.
That's crazy.
It was a nice ass hoodie too. It had like a stitched print. With
for real?
Yeah, it had the whole G-Unit logo stitched on it. It was like, it was at Ross, so it was like cheap. It was like $18 or something when I got it, but it was just nice to me. Because I was like, man, it's the first time I've ever bought merch from an artist that I really fuck with, that I'm like supporting their brand. Like, I'm like, it really meant something to me. But then she was like, oh, you can't listen to this. I'm like, damn, Mom. So then I'd be like, all right, Mom, I'll get the clean versions. Yeah. and then I'd go to school and I'd be like, hey, bro, can you burn me? Remember you could burn CDs? I was like, man, can you burn me the dirty, man? Can you give me the dirty versions?
Just to have it in a test.
Yeah.
What is your process like for creating a beat?
Man. I like to start with the chord progression first. So I'll choose a sound. I actually pretty much start all my beats with piano. Really? Like, to me, it's the easiest instrument. When you pull up a piano, you can cover the whole spectrum. You can get low end, mid, and high. Yeah. So you get the whole frequency spectrum of a song. And I feel like I can generally create the feel of my song from a piano. Yeah. And if I need to later, I'll switch the sound. But I'll come up with the chord change first, just so I can get, a catchy kind of loop that people like listening to. And then once I do that, then I'll start adding a bass and some other sounds. Like, I try to get my music moving with no drums. Yeah. If you can go like this to my music without the drums, then when the drums come in, it's over. Yeah, exactly.
And what programs do you use to make your beats?
Logic and FL Studio. Okay. So I used Logic primarily throughout my life, but I started using FL Studio about 3 months ago because I started working with bigger artists who needed production faster, and FL Studio is giving me a much quicker workflow.
Okay.
As far as, so like I do the music inside of Logic and then I'll do the drums inside of FL Studio.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, for all you people out there, FL, the drums hit harder. I'll debate it for hours. It's a thing on the internet where people are like, it doesn't matter what the program is, all the things sound the same. And like I've worked in all the DAWs and I know how to use all of them. Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools, Cubase, Reason, FL. There's just the way that FL processes. Yeah, like when shit be too loud, the music duck out the way and the bass stays. In other programs, the music stays and the bass drops out. Yeah, it's like hip hop. I don't want that. I want the bass to be loudest, right there. Yep.
Are there any special plugins that you use? Anything?
Oh, you asking a little too much now, man. Ooh. Nah,
I tried to get y'all some information. He can't give y'all everything.
Man, it's out there. All the information is out there. But really, to be honest, when I make beats, I don't use very many plugins. Mm-hmm. When I mix, I use a lot of different plugins. Okay. But when I make my beats, I just try to choose really good sounds. Yeah. Like people be like, D, how you get your kick drum to hit so hard? Shit, I just use a really good kick drum. Yeah. Like dead ass. Like if you don't got to, like a lot of the sounds that we get nowadays are already processed. Like when you go and get like the Metro Boomin drum kit or like whatever drum kit you want to go find, those sounds are already mixed and mastered. Yeah. So if you put them in your program and then add more shit to them, you're probably going to do more damage than you are going to help it. So find a good kick drum, find a good clap, find a good hi-hat, find a good open hat. Yeah. Find all these different sounds that will match what you hear in your head. Yeah. Like a lot of producers will approach the beats and be like, oh, I got an idea for a beat. I'm like, okay, but you don't got none of those sounds. Yeah. So you either you need to learn how to make them or you need to go get them. Yeah. And that's part of being a producer is the dig. Yeah. Is the search for the sounds and like working with different people. And then also like, you get tapped in with different people. You get given sounds because you earn them. Yeah. Like I've worked with different producers and done a lot of different work to the point where they're like, oh, your shit's actually tight. Like you need this drum kit. But if you had this snare, your shit would go crazy. Yeah. So, but I didn't, you don't just get given those sounds. Like I had to work to the point of them wanting to do that. But yeah, man, let's see. Without being too much, one of my favorite plugin bundles is a group called Sound Toys. Yeah. There's 22 different plugins in there. Go look up everything you can about them.
I appreciate you. So what is the process like for you when you're recording and mixing? I think something that people have told me that they love a lot about you is the way that you help guide the artist when you're kind of creating the track and they create it together. Like you're not just like a producer who sits there and just lets them go and you're not involved with it.
It's a relationship you build with artists too. When I first work with an artist and I don't know them, I usually let them do what they do. But I kind of try to pick up on what their patterns are and like what they're trying to do. But once I do have that level of respect with that artist, then I do interject and say like, hey, that was a good line, but I think the rhythm could be better, or sing it the same words, just sing it a little better. Yeah. Or if they were like singing a melody and they missed a note, I'll be like, you missed this one note, hit this one, and I'll sing the note to them. Yeah. For me, I really just, when I hear ideas, even I hear them finished. Yeah. So like I'll be making the beat and then the artist will be sitting next to me just singing or humming a melody. Just from those 5 seconds of hearing them hum the melody, I hear the whole song. Yeah. In my head, mixed and mastered, everything. Yeah. And then that gives me my roadmap for where we kind of need to go. Yeah. And then if they start performing and doing stuff, when it starts to diverge away from that, that's when I'm like, hey, you switched your flow too soon. Yeah. You're on the 3rd bar, finish the 4th bar in that flow, and then when the next part comes up, use that part that you were just coming up with. And they'll be like, oh, okay, tight. And then I'll save the idea, move it to where it needs to go. We'll finish what we were working on. And then they're like, oh, what's next? And then I'll bring back that idea. And they'll be like, oh, shit. And then they get their creative idea. And then it's really just, I try to help them have a seamless workflow. Yeah. Like when I'm there, I do give them my critique, but really it's almost as if I'm not there. Yeah. Like the level I have with some of the artists that I work with, I barely talk. Like I've been recording with my boy LB, Runts Gang, LB, and I don't, I've been recording with him for years, and it wasn't always easy and smooth. We had to work to where we are now, but now we're at the point where I don't even have to say anything. Yeah. We kind of both just know he might be going on a certain way and then just stop, and I'll know that he meant to just stop. Yeah. And I'll stop the music and keep going with him. But I don't know. I feel like now that I'm where I am, artists look to that. It's a teamwork.
Yeah, they
like
want.
when artists come to me, they're like, "What did you hear on this? What kind of flow? What were you thinking of when you made this beat?"
Yeah.
And they're looking for some direction.
Yeah.
Because like if you just sit there and you just put it all on the artist, then they're like, shit. Like, all right, I mean, shit, cool, I can do it, but it's like their investment into it isn't as much. If they see the producer trying his hardest with them to try to make the best record possible, then everybody's gonna put their best effort forward.
Nah, definitely.
It's just what I said earlier was just about developing the relationship. Is you have to know about how to interject.
Yeah.
If you don't know an artist, don't tell them nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, are artists usually receptive to
it? That's what I mean. You have to learn what they're, because certain artists you'll meet, like the Kailanis and Sada Babies of the world, where they're just so to it, where you don't have to say nothing. Yeah, they really know. Yeah, and in fact, they'll probably tell you a couple things. Yeah, but it really, once you develop a certain relationship with an artist, and they understand that you're really looking for the shit, for what they do best, and you really understand that and they trust you with it, then it becomes that open conversation. Like, should I do it this way, D, or should I do it this way? And I'll say do both, and then we'll pick. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, I don't, artists for the most part in general already look at engineers a certain type of way, because if you say you engineer, then you need to be able to do a certain set of things, and if you can't do that, why are we even talking about the song if you can't run it back fast enough for me? Some of these guys are freestyling and only have 3 seconds before they forget their idea. Yeah. And if it takes you 10 seconds or 5 seconds too long to do something, they forget their idea. Yeah. They don't even want to work with you. Yeah. Your shit could be crispy as hell. Yeah. But if you don't work with their flow, then it ain't finna happen. Yeah. So once an artist kind of establishes, okay, that's a good enough, he's a good enough engineer that I don't have to worry about that, then the next step is, okay, creatively, what can he bring to the table? Yeah. Some producers can, some producers can't. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of, to me, separates a beat maker from a producer. Yeah. There's people that make beats, and they give the beat to the artist, and then they don't do anything else. Yeah. Producers, I've made songs where I might not even have made the beat. Yeah. But I was there when the beat was made, and I'm like, hey, instead of doing that here, put it here. Yeah. Instead of doing that here, do it this. Yeah. Instead of doing this with the hi-hats, do it this way, and kind of just switch up the flow of the song, but kind of knowing the roadmap of being like, this is how we make it into a record. Yeah. Because a lot of people could come up with 12 bars or 8 bars and like have a cool little thing, but how do you make it into a song that people are going to relate to, that they want to listen to? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
How long do you think it took you to develop that skill to be a good producer?
My whole life, man. Like, shit, 15 plus years. Yeah. I told you, I'm 27, about to be 28. I started when I was like 9. I started tracking people when I was like 12. So it's been a while. I've recorded a lot of different artists, and I've almost, not burned bridges, but made it awkward with artists because I would interject at the wrong times. Yeah. Or like.
So that's something you had to learn and figure out. Yeah. Nah,
I've had certain artists like that I'm cool with get mad at me because I did something that messed up their idea, and it's not a personal thing, but it's like that's how they record. If you ain't there to move with them, they don't want you. Yeah, and it's nothing personal. It's like one of the artists I was recording, he was punching, right, bar, next, like real quick. Yeah. And by chance, I accidentally, my wrist hit the space bar for a different part. Yeah. And it ran the song back from the beginning of the song instead of right where he was at. Yeah. And he was like, oh, fuck, DTB, you fucked me up. Yeah, damn. And he was like, all right, come on, run it back. And we went to run it back. And then he went, damn, bro, I lost my whole idea. Yeah. Right? So that was like, fuck, I have to be really attentive. Yeah. I have to be I can't be like just off doing whatever. Like, that's why artists fuck with me. I think it's because they know I'm paying attention. Yeah. Is that I'm watching what they're doing and seeing that, okay, right now he wants to punch a bar before the next one. Yeah. And the next one he wants to hear 3 bars. Yeah. But if I've been playing it back from random places, doing shit, and there's no pattern, there's no rhythm, then the person's not going to be able to come up with their music freely. It's like, why am I fighting the engineer to do this? Yeah. So I had to learn that, like, oh, damn, like, you need to study your artist's flow better. Yeah. So now when I work with artists, if Benji tells me, hey, you got a session with you got a session with Stunner June tonight.
Yeah.
If I'd have never done anything with June, I'm going to go look at his entire catalog. I'm going to try to find every song that I can find from him and listen to his flow, his style, the melodies he sings, the keys he sings in.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try to do stuff with my own sound, of course, but in that pocket to the point where it's something he's familiar with.
Yeah.
And then when they get there, they're like, oh, damn, you already know what, like, you got the auto-tune set. They don't, oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
And it's like, as an engineer, it's like I've learned from different perspectives. If you just do a little bit of homework, it can help you, it can make all the difference for how you go work with someone.
Attention to detail is everything.
Yep.
For sure. I guess the question should be, who have you not worked with in the Bay Area? Because, I mean, a lot of people got some DTB beats, or they for sure want one. Who have you specifically produced for in the Bay Area specifically?
You want me to just start naming off artists? HBK, G-Eazy, Kehlani, Lil Pete, Rex Life Raj, LB, Neff the Pharaoh, Shooter Gang Coney, Black Jim.
Yeah, those were like going without saying.
That one's just so obvious. I didn't even. Yeah, you know, you already know. Man, Prada, Geechee. So many artists in the Bay. Chippers, Lige. Man, there's a lot of artists. Man.
How does it feel to know like that you covered like pretty much most of the big artists coming from where you're from?
Man, it's dope. Like, you know, I grew up. I tell Neff this all the time. I grew up, and he was younger than me. I grew up listening to Big Timing.
Yeah.
Like, have classic memories associated with that song. Yeah. Some of the best moments of my life. To now being at a point where I call that person my brother, and I'm hella close with him. Yeah. And we're making music and doing it. We have a project on the way, and it's like, you know, at one point, I didn't know who Neff was. I didn't know anything about him. I'm like, damn, this kid is really tight. Like, I'm an actual fan. Yeah. And that's how I've actually, like, I tell my artists that I'm a huge fan of their music. Yeah. Like,
but there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Like, that's why I feel like most of us get into music is because we're fans of it. Yeah. We gravitate towards the Get Rich or Die Trying or the Kanyes, or like, we're like, damn, I want to do some shit like that. Yeah. And then like, oh yeah, I mean, this is gonna be funny. You know, the whole PRA and Joe Wax and all them. So when I was in middle school, when I first started making beats, right, the Pack came out and they were doing stuff, and they were a little higher than us. But I heard about another group from Berkeley called the Turf Stars. Yeah. So that's Karan Streets, J Folks, Joe Wax, all that. So I'm like, damn, these kids are the same age as me, but they're making WAP. Yeah. Like, damn, if they can do it, I can do it. Yeah. Like, for real, for real.
For sure.
So then I really started trying to make beats, as opposed to just, like, making music and stuff like what I was in band with. Yeah. And then, you know, from there, I kind of just learned kind of the Bay Area culture. Lil B went to our high school for a little bit. Like, just being around it was hella tight. And then, like, a lot of my friends knew the HBK guys. Yeah. It eventually ended up getting linked up with them, but it was just like I grew up as fans of a lot of these artists, and now I work with them as peers, and it's crazy.
Yeah. So. I think the same thing for me too, though. Cause sometimes I look back, I'll be like, damn, like you. It's like when you listen to artists and now I'm like sitting there interviewing, I'm like, fuck, what has happened with life? Like, you would have never imagined. I would have never imagined that it would be like that, because this wasn't initially what I had even planned on doing. I was trying to go to the NFL.
Oh shit!
So I'm like, goddamn. But it's a beautiful feeling though, especially like being from the Bay. I feel like you always want to pay homage to home. You feel me?
Yeah.
Who have you produced for outside of the Bay Area? I know you did. You got produced 2 records on Moneybagg Yo's project, right?
Yeah.
So you did Pistol in the Bed and Match My Fly.
Yep.
How did that come about?
Man, shout out to Young LB, man. You know, everybody in the industry want this shit right here.
Yeah.
Jokes up, P. Runt's the hottest thing smoking. Yeah. Period. So really, like, I think L got linked up with Moneybagg through the Runts. Like, he wanted to get some weed from him, and you know, amongst that, around that time, he obviously asked L about his music. And L was like, here, he shows him his music. And I think he basically was like, yo, who's producing your shit? Yeah. And L's like, my boy DTB, he back in the Bay. He's like one of the hottest producers from where I'm from. I'd love to get him in with you. Yeah. And him and LB were like, shit, let's bring him out to New York.
Yeah.
So they flew me out to New York, like right after having that conversation. Like I was in Hawaii working with my friend Donnie Cupid, an artist named Fiji.
Yeah.
And we were doing like some like almost island reggae type shit.
Yeah.
And then I literally left Hawaii at like 6 in the morning and got to LA at like 3. And then I slept because I was tired. And then Benji and LB called me like, hey, you got a flight tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm like, what you mean? And they're like, shit, LB just bought you a ticket to come out to New York to go work with Bag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's like, go pack your bag. You going right now.
Yeah.
So I go out I get home, get dressed, go to the flight. Benji dropped me off, and then I fly out to New York. They pick me up at like 6 in the morning in New York. I haven't even slept yet, really.
Wow.
Just that nap I took when I got back from Hawaii. And I get to New York at like 6 in the morning. I meet up with LB. And we go around, run a couple errands, and then he drops me off at the studio.
Yeah.
And we get to the studio, there's no one there. All right, I was like, you good, bro? Gives me a zip.
Yeah.
He's like, here, bro. It's all you, King. Just smoke it comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, you leaving? He said, Bag didn't ask for me. He asked for you.
Damn.
And I'm like, oh, shit.
That's crazy.
Right? So I'm like, damn. He's like, yeah, bro, cook up. Get comfortable. So he leaves, and I just had the studio for like 2 hours to myself. So I started making beats and doing different shit, and they finally got there, and we worked on some stuff, but it was cool. And then we went out and smoked, and Diddy, his engineer, Sky Diddy, starts talking to me. He's like, hey, man, this shit, we heard about the artist you work with. What's his name? ALLBLACK?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, we love his shit. It's just a little too fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. He's like, well, Bag looking for something faster, but not too fast.
Yeah.
Like black tempo probably like 95 to 105 BPM.
Yeah.
Bag's tempo at that time was like 75 or in double top 150.
Yeah.
And he's telling me, he's like, I love 150 DTB. I love 150 BPM.
Yeah.
And Sky's like, I know, Bag, but we already got some of that. We need something a little faster.
Yeah.
So I actually, Pistol by the Bed wasn't made when I was in New York. I made it prior, but the tempo was different. So I pulled that beat up.
Yeah.
And slowed it down slightly.
Yeah.
So that beat was, I think, like, I can't remember. It was like a really low 90s.
Yeah.
And I started making it. Bag started bobbing his head. He didn't really say much. He was like, shit, load it up.
Yeah.
So I kind of made it there.
Yeah.
But it was like I had an idea that was already started. Mind you, in that beat for Pistol by the Bed, I had sent it to a bunch of different artists.
Yeah.
The ones that I'm very close with and still work with now, and it just wasn't right for them.
Yeah.
So nobody took it. And then when they said that, they were like, and I think it's because it was a little too slow.
Yeah.
But it ended up working out for that. They did the whole song, and it was like tight.
Yeah.
And then we put it to the side. I kept cooking and doing some more shit. And Bag got to really see me play keys and like do some of the shit that I do with beat making. And then, we worked a couple more. And then like a week later, we got our contracts, and they're like, you got 2 on the album.
Wow.
And I was like, oh,
what's that feeling like?
Man, it was crazy. Like, I've been on major albums before, but as a trumpet player, like with G-Eazy, I was on The Beautiful and Damned. Yeah. I played trumpet on one of the songs on there. Yeah. And that one on Billboard. It was tight, but this was the first time I got there. It's like I full out made both beats 100% just me. Yeah. And, really got there. So I think Bag's shit peaked at number 3 on Billboard, Top 200. And it kind of just opened up a lot of doors for me meeting other people, and like as soon as that happened, a lot of people started tapping in, and like
of course.
And it was funny because like at that, when I was doing those songs, I actually used LB's tag. LB had given me a different tag that I always use for our music, but I was like, man, LB just put me on this shit. I'm finna shout him out. I want to use that tag. Yeah. So a lot of people actually didn't know it was mine because of the tag being different from the DTB on the beat that's Bro. Yeah. So that tag, he said, DTB, you play too much. Yeah. So I had to explain that to some of my friends, but it was funny because like a lot of them in the Bay Area were really listening to that song. Yeah. And it was the first song that I'd ever made that my homies were really slapping. Yeah. Like it's one thing, when you make music and your homies support your shit and they're like, oh yeah, it's dope, D. Yeah. But you never see them slapping it. Yeah. Like consistently slapping it. Yeah. They were slapping that song. Yeah. Like a lot of people in the Bay Area that I knew were like, yo, that's the best song on the album. Like, bro, you really killed that shit. And I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
no, that shit was hard as hell.
For me, it's, I make a lot of different songs. It wasn't like that beat was significantly more complicated or anything than anything I'd ever made.
Yeah.
But it just fit for the moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was hella tight to just be like, damn, my friends actually are really slapping my shit now.
That is hard. I think it's funny because even when we did our first interview, at that time, I had only thought that you made beats that sounded like what you and Black had put out with Outcasts. Then I went to the studio with you that night, and I was like mind blown because I was like, wait, I'm like those beats you make way crazier beats, more like R&B island. Like you can do whatever. Like there's no limit to what DTB can do. Like
say that
for sure. Like
yeah, man. A lot of people know me for that because that's what that the Bay Area sound kind of like helped pop me out of there. But because I've been making beats for so long and doing different shit, I've always been making different kind of stuff. Yeah. It just never got any light shit on it. Yeah. So I feel like that is starting to come out more. Yeah. Now that I'm working with more people. Yeah. So.
When you made Outcasts with Black, were you aware that it would have the impact that it did?
Hell no. I just loved his music. Yeah. My brother Dre would be, I remember very clearly, it was like a 3-month stretch. I think I want to say it was like I don't know, it was early, it was like 2016, maybe 2017, I don't know. And he would just walk around everywhere going, you better salute a real nigga when you see one. Yeah. Cause everybody want to be one. I'm like, finally I asked him, I'm like, bro, what is you rapping, bro? What is that? He's like, bro, you ain't heard of Black? Yeah. I'm like, nah. He like, bro, he from the town, dude. You need to link up with him. Yeah. He raw. I'm like, show me. So he shows me Salute Me. And I'm like, I couldn't stop slapping that song for the next 3 months. Yeah. It was every day. Yeah. I'm like, bro.
That's crazy.
This dude is crazy. Why isn't he huge? Mm-hmm. I need to work with him. And, you know, eventually it ended up linking up. My boy Bugsy, rest in peace. He's the one who introduced me into Black.
Bugsy, for sure.
Yeah, but we were at the grill one day, and I was working with Bugs, and he was like, yo, Black gonna be here. I've been talking to him. Yeah. You know, let's try to get something with him. Yeah. I said, for sure. So I started making a beat, and Black was in the middle of a conversation with Bugsy, and he's like, hey, you making that? I'm like, and I was making it for him. Yeah. I'm like, I had just heard all of his music and No Shame and everything. I'm like trying to make something in that pocket. He's like, you beating up the dice. This shit going crazy. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I could hop on this. Yeah. And me and Bugsy looked at each other and was like, oh shit, he wanna hop on it. We were like, hell yeah. Yeah. So then we did a song, and that led to the relationship of me and Black then coming down to LA and basically becoming what it was. And Benji knew Delancey and all that, and we all put it together, and it was like from that point on, it was just like, damn, I just want to make some dope music with this dude. Yeah. Did I know it was gonna do what it did? No. Even more so, I didn't know No Pressure was gonna do what it did either.
I think the craziest thing about Outcasts to me was like that was gonna be that's the next project after Kim Sun. So Kim Sun was the shit,
man.
So it's kind of like the pressure was on, but really both of y'all to come through with another classic for sure. And No Pressure, we already know that went up for sure. Shout out Offset Jim. Shout out ALLBLACK too, for sure. I want to ask you, how do you feel about artists or rappers per se that don't write their lyrics? Is that a thing that you've seen in the studio?
Are you talking about they freestyle or someone else is writing their
Someone else is writing them.
Depends. It's the, I mean, that happens for a lot of people, whether you want to believe it or not. Some of your favorite artists had their songs written for them. Yeah. And when I say written, it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole song was presented to them. It could have been that way. Yeah. But that's part of the industry. Like when you sit and you come up with songs over and over and over again, you know, not every single song is finna be hella raw. Yeah. You might be tired that day, whatever, and someone wants to be in the room and suggest, hey, sing it like this. Don't sing it like that. Yeah. Change the melody. That's writing. Yeah. So what I see it as is it like a lot of artists have proofreaders. They'll write their essay, and then they'll hand it to their friend, and they'll proofread it and be like, hey, here you said too many words. Yeah. Take this one out, put this one here, do it like this. Right. So that's kind of what I see. But when you get into like the pop world, they'll fully write songs. Yeah. Like, well, I'll make songs with writers that are, you know, concept, words, everything. Yeah. And they'll use it just like that. But it's you know, as far as rap culture goes, though, yeah, you're not supposed to have your songs written for you,
That's
because like rapping culture is you supposed to come up with your own shit, and that's what makes you dope.
Yeah.
But what people fail to understand is that rap music is now pop music.
Yeah.
So when you get to that certain level, sometimes people, when you work with labels, when you work with different people, it's like they look at it as, okay, yeah, you proved you can rap, but it's not about that right now. Yeah. We're trying to make songs that can connect with people.
Yeah.
So like you talking about the same exact shit every time is not going to work.
Yeah.
Right now we're going through all of this shit. Why don't you make a song that has something to do with that?
Yeah.
About experiences you've had that people can relate to. That's what writing is.
Yeah.
To me. Like, yeah, it's one thing to be a rapper and say, oh, I'm hard and I do this, and you didn't write any of your shit, and, you know, you don't actually live that lifestyle. That kind of can be like, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
definitely.
it just depends on how you're looking at it, what it's for.
Yeah.
You
No, I appreciate your perspective, and I think, like, some rappers, it would be hard for me to, like, fuck with them if I felt like they didn't write it, but I already know, like, being in the industry, just like, you know, everybody doesn't write their shit at the end of the day.
I mean, too, like, a song could be a throwaway song from, so it could be like there was a song I had that I did with an artist that was a year old. We didn't use it.
Yeah.
It got shelved.
Yeah.
And they got shown to an R&B singer who was like, oh my God, I love this. Can I have this? And then she recut the whole record.
Yeah.
Like verbatim, exactly as the artist had done it. It didn't end up getting used.
Yeah.
But it was just like, he didn't sit there and be like, I'm going to write this artist for this record.
Yeah.
I'm going to write this record for this artist. We just made the song. And then it didn't make it in anything because it didn't fit us.
Yeah.
But it fit her.
Yeah.
So she took it.
Yeah.
So that's like actually how a lot of records get done too, is it like people just make a bunch of records and they're like, all right, I want to keep these and pitch these.
Yeah.
So then these songs get sent out to labels.
Picture records is definitely a thing too. So.
Yeah. No, 100%.
No,
because like you might just pitch the idea to someone like, damn, if Roddy did something like this, he might sound crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't have to use any of the words, any of the rhythms, but it's just the idea he gets from hearing that.
Yeah.
That's writing still.
Nah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Nah, I agree with you completely. What is the wildest thing that has happened during a session? Can you tell me that?
It's so funny. I've never had anything wild really happen. Oh, I have actually. Well, I'll tell you two different ones. One was Manny and one was just hella funny.
Yeah.
So the Manny one, we had a session with this artist. I'm not gonna say no names.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that Joe Wax was engineering it.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, I got a session at the studio with this artist. Can I use the lab?
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, go ahead. So I'm not at the studio. He's doing his shit. I get him set up and then I leave.
Yeah.
Right. I wake up the next day, but I see like 5 missed calls.
Yeah.
And a text message at like 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And I look down and Joe's like, hey man, I tried my hardest, but she went behind your desk and unplugged everything. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, she didn't like the sound. Like she said the vocals were too clear. I'm like, what do you mean the vocals are too clear? Or something like, it was like, they're just not sounding right.
Yeah.
Can I use my own computer? And Wax is like, sure, you can use your own computer. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
He didn't, then she ends up going to her car, getting her actual big ass Mac computer. She gets like her whole, it's called a lunchbox.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a small thing full of gear.
Yeah.
And she goes behind my desk and starts unplugging my whole patch bay,
What?
all my shit. And she like plugged it into her own shit. And he's like, in the text messages, I'm reading line after line.
Yeah.
I told her not to go back there. She still went back there. She unplugged everything. Now the speakers, only the left speaker's working. I don't know what happened, bro. Can you help me?
That's crazy.
And I'm like, fuck. Like,
so when all your stuff gets unplugged, do you have to reset everything?
Yes. So I had to go back to the studio that day and try to figure out what was wrong.
Yeah.
And, when you're at home, a studio is kind of cool. You can just plug it in and straight go. But when you have the shit that I use, it kind of takes a little time.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there looking at my studio. I'm like, did you put it back? And Joe's like, I'm going to be honest, D, I don't know how to put it back, so I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn. So I'm about to come back to my studio thraxed. So I get back. There's cords everywhere.
Yeah.
The desk is like turned to the side.
Oh my God.
Right? No, it literally looks like someone damn near ran through our shit. I go back there. I'm like this. I'm like, oh my God. And I had a session that day I had to cancel because I'm like, my studio is not functional.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't hear yourself in the booth no more. The main monitor speakers were only working out of one speaker, and the computer was not connecting to my interfaces.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, bro, this is the worst shit ever. And Joe's like, yeah, man, she said that she wants me to come record her at her house instead. I'm like, all right, go do that. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Not here no more. So that was like the maniest situation. It took me like 5-6 hours to like redo.
I'm about to say, how long does it take you to get that back? That's crazy.
So, but anyways, and then the other thing that I had, and this one's more of a funny story. I had a session with GREED0, Guapdad, and ALLBLACK.
Yeah.
And this is actually the session that we made Florida Gator in.
Yeah.
Which was on Outcalls.
Yeah.
Guapdad calls me hella drunk. He's down the hall from me. He goes, bruh, I'm in here with everybody, bruh. Come over here. Like, we need some beats, bruh. Like,
Yeah.
they're finna love your shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So me and Benji's like, by the way, Benji is the first person I ever heard slapping GREED0.
Really?
Benji been slapping GREED0 for so long.
That's crazy.
Like, literally, like to the point where I wasn't even paying attention. I finally was like, bro, who is this artist? Because I couldn't understand. Benji would keep playing this dude in the car. I couldn't understand none of the words he was saying, but the melodies were hella raw. I'm like, bro, who is this? He's like, bro, this dude GREED0, bro. He's from LA, bro. His shit's hella tight, bro. I just think he's finna go up. Yeah. So anyways, fast forward, it's like, Guap calls me. I got GREED0 in here. Ben's like, bro, that's the dude.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, come on. So we go over there. I get my hard drive. I literally sat there and picked out all these beats. I'm like, I think they'll fuck with these ones, right? So we go over there and we sit down. Guap, Black, they all, greet me. And GREED0's there, but he just didn't say nothing to me, so he didn't know me. So I come in and I start plugging up. GREED0 come over and say, yeah, you say you got some beats, man. Play some shit.
Yeah.
All right, play the beat. I'm sitting there rolling up. GREED0 starts rapping. First 5 seconds. The beat came on, he starts rapping.
Yeah.
Black looking at me like, oh, shit. Like, already. Like, shit, D, go crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm rolling up, just talking with people, having a great time. He's rapping the whole time. It's the first time he's ever heard the beat. Yeah. And he freestyles everything. So he's literally rapping the whole beat. I hear a chorus. I hear everything.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, shit, all right. I'm getting ready to damn near load it up in the Pro Tools. And he goes, all right, that was cool. Play something better.
Damn.
I'm like, damn, you just rapped the whole beat. I thought you was fucking with it. All right, well, shit. All right, and then I played another beat, and that was Florida Gator. And he goes, yeah, that's better.
That's hella funny, man. Free GREED0, man.
Yeah, free GREED0.
That's crazy. That's hella funny. You talked about it earlier. You said that the Pistol in the Bed record, that your friends were really slapping that one. How much support do you expect from your friends when it comes to like your music?
I mean, as much as they want to give. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't expect anybody to do anything for me. Yeah. I know what I put into my own shit and what I'm finna get out of it. And if you want to be around for the ride and support it, then you know what I'm saying? All for it, but don't drag me down. Yeah. Like everybody that I've been around my whole life, they always knew I made beats and shit like that, but it was always like a form of encouragement, but I don't expect them to sit in the lab with me 10 hours a day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Benji does, but Benji's my right-hand man. Like he right next to me all the time. If you see me, you see Benji. Yeah. But with my other partners, it's almost like those are my partners. Yeah. Those aren't my music colleagues. Like sometimes I just want to chill with them. I don't want to talk about music. I just want to smoke with them and like catch up on life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if they want to involve themselves in it, they can. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they do. Yeah. But for me, I don't expect my partners to do anything. I would like them to. Yeah. You know, it don't cost no money to repost your partner's shit. Yeah. But, you know, it's just, I also don't expect people to post shit they don't like. Like straight up, yeah. Like if I'm making music and they don't like it, I'm not expecting them to be like, oh, go slap my partner's shit. It's the hottest in the streets, and it's not. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it just so happened that my partners really were listening to ALLBLACK. We're really listening to Jim. We're really listening to Neff. Yeah. And then the Bag shit happened. It's like, we do listen to Bag, but we didn't even really listen to him like that until you did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, I just appreciate all the support that I have gotten from my partners through this shit, because it's like a lot of what we do, there's no way people can understand like the degree of which we have to go to do it. Yeah. But what my partners have seen is they've seen me making beats from the time I was in 7th grade until now. Yeah. You know, so
they see the growth, they see the progression, which is damn near one of the best things to see with anybody.
But trust me, I know it. Like I literally used to play beats for people, and my partners now, and they'd be like, "Yo, D, I ain't gonna lie, it's cool, but like I can't rap on this. Yeah, like I don't know, this ain't a beat. It's like a movie score.
Yeah. Damn. That's
Like,
what they telling DTB.
When I was in like 8th grade, my boy Troy was in one of my classes, and I was showing him the shit I was doing. He's like, "Bruh, this sound like real music, but like niggas can't rap on that.
Yeah.
Like, you need something more like bouncy. You need to
Yeah.
be more simple.
Yeah.
Like, don't do shit as complicated."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So then I started switching things up, and then like obviously I learned, but really it was just like having them be like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say put off by it, but it's like I can't expect them to like jump towards it and really fuck with it if it's not really there. So
Yeah.
I had to learn that shit.
Nah, definitely. Nah, I completely, I agree with that for sure. I think something that like artists would basically tell me like they feel like you said, they should. If you don't fuck with it, don't post it.
Yeah.
But it also don't cost shit to repost anything.
Right. Like you can definitely go support your friend's shit and like go. I think it's dope to do that, but it's like I don't feel obligated by people. I don't feel that people need to be doing anything for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they want to, they can.
Yeah.
But I everybody got their own life and their own choice. They can do whatever they want.
Definitely. How much do you think the producer falls into rap beef? If 2 artists you're producing for, say you produce for 2 artists and they have a beef, are you involved in that as the producer, or you just continue with business as usual?
Nah, I just do what I do. Like,
okay.
I mean, obviously I try to be aware of who is kind of funking with each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know about the funk, but I feel like producers should know, because you might be in a session with someone fucking with you and you be like, oh, it'd be hella dope if you got this dude on it. And then they're like, they're fully funking.
The whole, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you just literally screwed yourself.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like, I don't know. I just respect the artist. I don't look at none of the beef or the gang shit. It's like, I'm trying to make music.
Yeah.
So like, yes, if gang shit is your part of your outlet and how you get your music out and part of your creative process, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not part of that beef.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Nah, I was only reason I asked is because like I think it would be hella funny if like say you're producing for 2 artists and they're beefing, but they like one of them telling you like, well, you can't work with him anymore. It's like, hold on.
You know, I ain't never been asked that before by nobody or nothing like that. It ain't no weird shit like that ever happened. But I also, like, I've done my research, too, and then, like, made sure, like, because I've worked with artists that definitely have had tension between each other over certain things, not maybe at the same time, but I know not to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, artists are human beings at the end of the day. Like, that if you treat them, like, weird, then they're going to treat you weird.
Yeah.
So I just treat everybody like a human. Like, what's up with it?
Yeah. I think that's something that I've had to deal with as being an interviewer, because, like, of course, I've interviewed people that necessarily don't get along with another person I've interviewed, but luckily no one's ever told me, like, oh, why you interviewing him? I was like, hold on, I'm just asking questions here. Like, I'm not involved with the politics of it.
Yeah.
Do you have? Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I mean, in general, like, there's a lot of politics to go with it, but it's like, I just try not to involve myself with it. Like, in general, like, I'm here to make the music.
Yeah.
My job is to help whatever artist I'm working with get to the next level.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if an artist that I'm really close with is not getting along with some person, then for the most part, yeah, I'm really not going to go reach out to go work with that person, because out of respect to the artist I'm working with. But if those people approach me and are like, we want to work with you and do shit, if they meet my requirements, aka,
the bag,
right. If the bag is right,
the bag is right.
We can sit down anytime.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I agree with that completely. I've been like, what I've been preaching is that if 2 artists from the same area don't get along, but they both popping, I'm thinking more, if no one has been killed with y'all situation, I think you should probably consider making a song together. If y'all can make money together, that's what I've been preaching. Everyone don't agree with me, but I'm just like, man, at the end of the day, I'm thinking about making the money.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, that'll go up. Yeah, I mean, like, some artists will funk on purpose to create.
Which is something that I've been figuring out just recently, that some of these beefs aren't even real beefs.
It's like some of it could start as like a friendly competition of being like, someone being like, hey, I think you rawer than this artist.
Yeah.
And then that artist being like, this artist couldn't touch me.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little beef. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
as far as making money and shit, yeah, that's, you know, that shit would make more money. But on like an ethics level and like, I don't, you know, I have no interest in general already. I have no interest in doing music with people I don't fuck with.
Yeah.
Like, I do know a lot of big artists, but I don't work with all just big artists.
Yeah.
I work with people who fuck with me.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
what you should do for sure. Do you have a favorite artist to work with?
Man, I got a bunch. Man, LB, one of my favorite guys to work with. It's just the environment of our sessions is crazy.
Yeah.
And also with LB, like, I really worked with him to get to where we are. Like, LB and I made music for many years, and it wasn't always dope.
Yeah.
But we worked to get to where we are now.
Which you gotta appreciate for sure.
So that is one of the people I definitely just, him, Neff, Black and Jim.
Yeah.
Probably.
For sure. What is a perfect day for you?
Shit, man, when I don't got to do nothing I don't want to do. Flat out.
Yeah.
Shit, if I want to go to the lab and go make some music, I get up and go make some music. If I don't feel like that and I feel like going out to a barbecue or something, we finna go to the barbecue.
Do you have days where you don't feel like recording and making beats?
Nah. Like, I might wake up and be like, shit, Benny, let's go grocery shopping, let's go chill. And then, like, later on the night, I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna go to the lab, bro. I gotta go make some beats, bro. I'm finna be there, like, cause you know what I'm saying? Like, the way I feel about it, the reason why I'm where I am is cause I'm relentless.
Yeah.
I ain't never stopped. Like, no matter how tired I am at the end of the night, I always start a beat. Like, literally, I'll be at the end of a session. LB's just been in here for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Probably smoked a half pound.
Yeah.
I'm damn near like this. Where I'll hop on the keyboard and just start coming up with something.
Yeah.
And if it's dope, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe I just make another pistol by the bed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not going to cut myself short of that.
Yeah.
If I start something that's not that dope, then shit, you can just go to sleep anyways.
Yeah.
But what if you do make that one?
Exactly.
So that's why I always give myself that chance.
DTB, what you smoking on right now? I see
man,
you got a
come
whole
on.
box over there.
Stop playing with that, man. Okay, here we go. Jokes up. Shout out my boy J Page. Shout out my boy LB.
That box is raw.
Ooh, yeah. See the presentation? We in here with it. We got, smoking grab as always. We got the Chronics, Martian Candy, Runts, Lucky Charms.
Wow.
Man,
A lot of flavors.
you ain't paying $6. It ain't touching your lips.
Do you have a favorite strain?
Runts.
Which flavor though? Just
The original Runts.
Okay.
The very first one that ever came out.
Yeah.
That is, shit. Ain't no weed taste that sweet and smoke that strong.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing I've smoked to that probably is London Pound Cake 75 from Burner.
Yeah.
From Cookies.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's my favorite weed.
Yeah. Okay. I see you got the gas. We might have to smoke after this, DTB.
Come on, man. Say that.
I like to ask this question to everyone who comes on the show. If you could pick yourself to be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
Oh, fuck. Damn, this one's tough, bro. I've been asked that before. I've been asked that by a female before. I'm like, damn, you really trying to look
I know what they call you. So I thought
Shit, the panda.
I
right?
thought panda.
I'll go with that. That's fine.
So I don't know what you're gonna choose.
Shit. Nah, I'm cool with the panda. That's cool. But honestly, like, on another tip, just because I love swimming so much, I'd probably be like a dolphin or something. I love the water, bro. I swear to God, if before the music shit, like, I really felt like I was meant to be in the water.
Yeah.
Like, I swam my whole life, and then I was a swim coach. You know, when me and Benji were starting off, remember I told you he was working at Nordstrom's?
Yeah.
I was the head coach of a swim team.
Yeah.
So
wow. You guys were doing two different.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's crazy. I wanted to ask you, what advice can you give to up and coming producers?
shit, man, have faith in yourself. Like 90% of getting there is believing you can. Real shit. Like I'm a raw musician, but I wasn't always talented making beats. I know people that don't know nothing about music that make better beats than me.
Yeah. And
it's about knowing your process and figuring that out. Like, stay down for your come up. Work hard to get in the room with people, and like, don't take anything personally. Yeah. Really. How does a producer get his beats to artists when he's starting out? Shit, you gotta prove yourself. Yeah. If I don't know you, why are you charging me $500 a beat? Yeah. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. Like, make me get to the next level. Help me go to the next place. Yeah. And prove that you're that good. Yeah. And then we can, you know what I'm saying? If you, like, all the artists that I've worked with, I never was, like, the one that they were looking to. I had to prove myself. Yeah. Like, first time I got in the room with Neff, I was like, bro, I gotta blow his mind away. I can't just play some cool shit. I gotta play some raw shit that he ain't never heard.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta really like make him go the extra way to be like, hey, who is bruh?
Yeah.
Right? I engineered for Neff before I got into a session with him.
Yeah.
But the first time he saw me at G-Eazy session playing trumpet, he was like, yo, that's different.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get in.
Yeah.
Because we all make beats. Everybody can get the same shit.
Yeah.
Get the program, get the drum kits, sequence, learn how to do all the hot commands and everything. But it's like, you know, what are you doing creatively that's different to get in the rooms with these people?
Yeah.
Like, in addition to that, like, you have to be making music.
Yeah.
Constantly. Like, if you're not with the top people, but you're with the people that are right under the top people, then you need to make the artist you're with a top artist.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, Black and Jim weren't top artists when I worked with them when I first met them.
Yeah.
Right? But after working together and building each other up, we both came to the point where we're now top people in the Bay Area for the shit we do.
Yeah.
Like, nobody expected me, Black, or Jim to do the shit that we were doing.
Yeah.
We were just making music, but it happened to be dope, and
Yeah.
we ended up putting it out there, and now we're where we are.
Yeah.
But we had to prove that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then that leads to getting in the room with the Mozzies and all that. I can't just jump straight to Mozzie before I break Black and Jim.
Yeah.
Like, you got to prove yourself as a producer and accomplish certain things before you get given that nod.
Yeah.
That's how shit work in general. Like, if you're working at a job, you're not finna just be given the boss position. You got to work yourself up from the bottom. You got to put in those 40 hours every single day at the lowest rate, and then prove that you're doing more than everybody else so that they promote you to the next spot.
Yeah.
That's how the music industry works.
Yeah. Nah, I really like that right there. I think what you just said is what it's all about, for sure. What is something? Oh, before I even get into that question, what should artists expect as far as, like, not artists but producers, as far as splits when it comes to putting out these songs? Like, how does that usually work?
I mean, in general, like, the artist gets 50, the producer gets 50, but like, if you didn't make the whole beat, you're not gonna get the whole.
You have to give a cut to someone else who helped you.
Yeah, for sure. And if you don't, you a J-Cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Period.
All right, for sure. Straight up. You heard DTB say it himself. What is something that most people don't know about you?
I'm a swimmer. Now you know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That was crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think has changed the most in your beats over the years?
Simplicity. My shit keeps getting simpler and simpler. I use better sounds, but less shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, what I've learned now working with artists is they actually like space.
Yeah.
Like, if you do dun, 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 they're like, where am I supposed to rap? If you just go dun 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 dun, there's a whole pocket for them to fit in where they can rap. And like, I just try to create more of a pocket for my artists to fit in.
Yeah.
Like, I make my beats thinking about a vocalist as opposed to just making a beat.
Yeah. I like that. What is the biggest lesson you've learned in the industry so far?
Fuck with who fuck with you.
Yeah, I've learned that too.
Fuck with who fuck with you and get your business straight.
Yeah.
For real.
What do you think, for my final question I want to ask you, what do you think is the first thing that a young producer should do when he's trying to get started making beats?
Shit, we all got the same 12 notes. You might as well learn everything you can about them.
Yeah.
Every keyboard has the same, like, from the time of Beethoven till us now.
Yeah.
It's the same 12 notes.
Yeah.
Whether you're using a synth or a string or a piano, it's all music theory.
Yeah.
So you don't have to know music theory, but it'll help.
Yeah.
So if you want to make dope beats and shit, learn about the music. Like, the way I see music, like, music in general is a language, right? Just like us, we have to learn the alphabet, right?
Yeah.
So letters are notes,
Yeah.
right? Words are chords, and chord progressions are sentences,
Yeah.
right? You understand all the letters so you can formulate words. Then once you understand words, you understand how words go together to create a sentence or a message. That's what music is. There's a set of notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and all these sharps and flats.
Yeah.
Together, you took those notes out and you make a chord or a word. This
Yeah.
is C minor,
Yeah.
right? And then a sentence is like, I want to play a C minor to an F minor. It's like you just said certain words together to get your point across.
Right.
So if pain is my point, then I'm going to do a 1/4 in C minor.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's like what feeling you're going to get from that.
Yeah.
So if you understand that about the music, then people come in to show you their music. And they're like, I want to do something like this. I'm going to be like, oh, it's a 1-6-5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 1-4-5 chord change in
Yeah.
A minor. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of figure out how to create the same feel.
Yeah.
People be like, bruh, I worked with this artist from LA recently. What was his name? Kimo Shea. Hella tight, dope ass artist. He came in and I listened to a bunch of his music. I'm like, oh, you like these kind of chord changes? Yeah. So I made some halfway done beats, no drums, just the music. And I showed it to him. I'm like, hey man, I listened to your music and like, you know, this is the kind of feeling I got from it. Yeah. And he's like, oh, this is the shit I need. This is exactly what I'd be. Bro, how'd you know that? Yeah. Like, you a genius. Like, nah, I am good. You know, I'm smart for sure. But like, I just studied. Yeah. Like, oh, you use minor blues chord changes. Yeah. So I'm gonna play minor blues. Yeah. Period. Yeah. I have my own pocket and my own sound, but as far as the notes they hear that evokes that emotion, if you know what those are, then yeah, you're gonna get your artist to fuck with your shit a lot faster.
That's dope as hell. That's dope as hell. Do you have any final words for the people before you get out of here?
Shit, man. Keep grinding. It's a hard time right now. There's a lot going on. Just have faith in your people and your team and yourself and your loved ones. Just keep grinding.
Hell yeah. DTB, I appreciate you. We had like an hour and 10 minutes, man. This might be my longest one.
Hey, man, say that. It's always fun with you, my boy.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank you. You're locked in with the Innovators. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell.